Happy Friday. I guess if you're on East Coast, it's lunchtime, but welcome to another episode. This is episode 11, by the way. I didn't think we'd ever get to 11 of the
Who knew?
Q&A with Alan and Marshall, and here we go. So how are you doing today, Alan?
I'm doing great. It's a gorgeous day here in Michigan. We had some storms, but of course, typical Michigan weather. We went from 90 degrees a couple days ago to just a great day. It's in the mid 70s.
Oh, really?
Sun shining, blue skies. So it's an awesome day. So it's gonna be a good weekend.
Yeah, it was only 108 here yesterday.
Yeah, but it's a dry heat.
It is. Well, it's nice and air conditioned in my office. So.
Yeah, in my house too.
Yeah.
But you know what? And it did. The humidity got knocked down. It gets real humid here.
Right.
But yeah. So
all right,
well, doing great. How about you?
Oh, it's been a fantastic week. I've been working on all kinds of really great projects. We launched Shirt Lab Tribe on Monday with our first core group of folks. We've got, I don't know, 32, 33, somebody, not really sure, people in the group now. And that's pretty exciting. And we did our first presentation on Thursday. Jay Bassell did a whole thing about using LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I know you're doing a thing on
Printing better whites. It's on my schedule when we're done. I'm going to upload the template and yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I'm telling you what, I am very excited for Shirt Lab Tribe. I think it's going to end up being the main thing in the industry for garment decorating.
You think?
I do. Yeah, I really do. I think you and Tom are, you have a lot of things planned out well, but you're not afraid to move and change right in the middle if need be.
Right.
And sometimes that's difficult for things. So I'm very excited for Shirt Lab Tribe. If people listening have not checked it out, they need to.
Yeah, so I don't want to take up space here on our show about it, but it's shirtlabtribe.com. If you want to check it out, that's where you go. The link's right there on the screen. Happy to have a chat with you. If you want more information, let's fire up a call. So anyway, that's it about that. So I want to say hello to some people.
Absolutely.
Keith Burwell's here, of course. He's over here every time. And he also says that Jay's presentation was great yesterday. So there you go. That's social proof right there. Thank you so much, Keith. And Gustav from Sweden.
From Uppsala.
Uppsala.
We were talking about that last night, Gustav. Uppsala. So
that's right. So how are you? Hope you're doing fantastic. And it's probably 2 or 3 in the morning. Do you ever sleep? What's up with that?
It sets his alarm. Got to listen to Q&A. So
yeah, right. Well, maybe is it like the time of year where it's like 24 hours of light, or I don't know how that works in Sweden. But
do they have that in Sweden?
I don't know. Is that like North Pole thing, or?
I thought that. I know in Alaska and up north, but I didn't know in Sweden.
I don't know how it works. I should know that. I just don't. So anyway, let's get to some discussion points.
Absolutely.
So our first one today is all about scheduling and deadlines. And this is something we were talking about all week. So Alan, why do we want to talk about that today?
Well, it's a major problem. One of the things that I hear decorators talking about still is, how do you compete with Amazon? How do you compete with Custom Ink? Here's what they do. They say what they do. They do what they say. You order it. You know when it's coming. Done.
Yeah.
And if there's a problem, they make it right originally. You and I were just talking about a situation with Amazon with you, and it's like, oh man. And I see decorators, due to lack of scheduling or not knowing how to, or just going, we'll just take anything and say whatever, that they end up becoming, that puts them at either losing clients or makes it vulnerable for someone better to come take that client.
Yes.
When I first started 30 years ago in sales, it used to be, we would say you could have quality, you could have price, you could have delivery, but you can have two, but not all three. And
You
now
gotta have three
nowadays,
these days.
it's all three. You
Right?
got to have a fair price. Price doesn't mean it has to be the cheapest. You got to have a fair price, a value price.
Right.
Your quality has to be acceptable, and you got to say what you do and do what you say.
Yep.
And yeah.
So what Alan was talking about with me with Amazon yesterday is I ordered something, and when I ordered it, they said, "Hey, you can have it today, same day." I'm like, "Well, I could really use it today. Let's order it." And I paid a small fee to get it here today, same day, and they didn't do same day, right? And so Amazon's really good about sending little notes, "Hey, how we doing?" Whatever. And I fired back a thing that says, "Hey, I'm not happy," whatever. And they refunded the entire order. And so I got the thing that I ordered, and it was free. So I really appreciated that. So thank you, Amazon. but the thing here is, what are you willing to do in your business? And so the topic here is scheduling and deadlines. And to me, it doesn't matter if you're a screen printer, an embroiderer, you do, HTV, vinyl, whatever you do, right? You have to know how long things take. You have to know how busy you are. You have to know that, I can do that by Friday or whatever. So if you commit to it, right, that's it. You have to do it. In fact,
absolutely.
Let me explain how I schedule, right? So when I'm thinking about scheduling, it's all about two things: capacity and velocity. And capacity is simply how much can you do, right? So this is with embroidery, screen printing, heat press, whatever. What is your daily capacity that you average? Most days, what do you mostly do, right? So not what is the capability if you just run that machine 24/7, right? Because nobody does that, right? What do you normally can do with each piece of equipment? What do you normally get out? That's what you want to know. That's your capacity, right? And then velocity is how fast are you doing it? So this is why you need to keep a production log, because you will know how much downtime you have. You'll know how fast you set up. You'll know how fast you run your machines, right? This is in any single piece of equipment in your business. DTG, embroidery, heat press, screen printing, whatever, automatic, manual, it doesn't matter. Right? A single head, a 6-head embroidery machine, a 12-head embroidery machine. It doesn't matter. What are you doing? How fast can you do it? And then what are your averages that you get out of each piece of equipment on a daily basis? If you know that, it's so much easier to predict your schedule, because you know how many things you do a day. And it's not quantity of shirts, it's decoration locations. And I call these impressions. Right. So it's not how many colors the job is. It's a 3-color. No, it's an impression is that decoration event, left chest, full back, whatever. Yep. That's an impression. How many of those are you getting a shift? Right. That's what you want to understand. And so if you know what your averages are, it's really easy to go, this is what we normally do. This is what we're capable of doing. Of course, we always want to make that better, but this is where we are right now. Okay. And then if you know that, it's really easy to predict, are we at 80% of capacity? Or are we at 100% capacity? Or are we going to have overtime next Wednesday? Right? What do we do? And so when you're booking a job, you accept this job today. Let's just say it's for 200 impressions, right? It's a full front, full back on 100 pieces, right? How long is it going to take you to do that job? You need to deliver it by next Friday. When do you actually need to start production? You need to start production on whatever day, and then you work backwards from that. And here's what I like. I like to have the schedule so the job is completely finished in production the day before it's supposed to ship. So it's supposed to ship on Friday. On Thursday, that whole job is finished. So that might mean you need to start that job on Wednesday. Right? Maybe you do, right? So this helps you with your planning and your forecast. As you're taking jobs, you can assign them to that piece of equipment for that production event. and you know how long it takes to set up, you know how long it takes to print the job, right? And this is how you book your days out. And so you're finished the day before it has to ship. And when I say ship, I mean you're sending it UPS or the customer's picking it up or you're delivering it. It doesn't matter. That's shipping, right? That's going to happen on that Friday. And if you set your jobs up in this manner, and as you're taking jobs, you're putting it to equipment, you're assigning blocks of time, right? Which you can easily do just with a simple Google Calendar. You don't need any special software. If you have it, that's great. But you could simply do it with a Google Calendar for a block of time. This is that job. This is what we're doing. And this is going to keep you accountable. All right. And so I like having numbers for presses: press 1, press 2, press 3, embroidery machine 1, embroidery machine 2, embroidery machine 3, whatever. And you're keeping track of this stuff, because what I'll tell you is each piece of equipment will run differently because it's the age and the capabilities of that machine, plus it's who's running it, right? You know, Fred does it one way, Susie has different results. It's based on their skill and how fast they move and operate, right? So if you know this stuff, you can predict generally what's going to happen. And if you need more time, that's why you'll go, you know, next Friday, we really need to have more overtime, or it looks like we might have to print on Saturday. You'll know that a week ahead of time if you're doing it correctly.
Correct.
Right?
I think
so. Anyway, so that's kind of an overview, right? If you're watching and need to like really dig into this is what I do as a consultant all the time. So I can straighten you out in 2 seconds, not 2 seconds, but you know what I mean, to like help you. So what do you think about that, Alan? You've been to tons of jobs.
Yeah, I think, and I always think because I don't run production, I know about it. But, you know, some of the things I think that affect it too on scheduling as deadlines is you can have these deadlines, have these schedules, but then all the work you do before, sometimes people are just going, I'll just call an order whenever I need it and expect it to be there. First of all, we live in an imperfect world. This is why you need to have good relationships with your suppliers, whether if it's screen print, your ink suppliers, your emulsion suppliers, your things like that. What do they have in stock? What are you keeping in stock on your place? What about your soft goods suppliers? Do you have multiples? Because if they only have 50 black shirts and you need 200, you're going to have to get those from other places. And you need to do that. The client doesn't want to hear anymore going, by the way, I would have had it done, but our supplier failed us. That's not an excuse. That's not an option. Plan better.
Right.
And we talk about this a little bit. I do online. You can order in today's world. The good thing is you can order with the stroke of a keyboard from your phone from anywhere. Yeah. But what happens when you don't have a relationship and there's a problem? Is your supplier of product, whether it be HTV, whether it be direct to garment, whether it be screen, going, look, what's the deadline? I need this obscure color of purple ink. Can I get it matched? Can I get it, in stock, whatever? And you got to have that, and you got to have those relationships. That's where online does not work as much. Yeah. And so you got to do your homework and do your work and set up your processes before it hits time to start printing also, and have that. And I see a lot of people fail on that too.
Yeah. And if you're having some downtime issues where you can't get organized and you're not getting jobs done, my way of doing things is we do the scavenger hunt for the schedule the day before. So what I like to do is, today it's Friday, right? Mm-hmm. So around noon today, I'm going to pull the schedule for Monday. What do we have to do for Monday in every single department, right? Yep. And then I'm getting the screens and the ink and the samples and the work orders and the art approval form and everything. If it's embroidery, I'm getting the cones of thread. I'm getting everything that we got to do, right? And I'm lining it up in order next to the piece of equipment, right? So on Monday morning, there's a printed schedule that shows everybody what we got to do for each machine. everything's there for them in the order they have to print it. It's in the order they have to print it on the schedule that they have in front of them, right? Mm-hmm. And then all they have to do is execute the plan, right? Yeah. That level of organization is really tough to get to. I can help you with that, but it's completely doable. This is what you need to do to hit your deadlines, hit your schedule. So if you're supposed to have a job done on a certain day, this is how you do it. Now, here's the challenge. And you mentioned earlier that we're having some issues with shipping right now because UPS and FedEx aren't guaranteeing stuff, right? Yep. That's what happened with that Amazon order, right? I don't know what happened. I don't care. I'm the customer, right? You said you would do it. I complained. I got a refund. I'm really super happy with that, right? But if they didn't give me the refund, I would be really kind of ticked.
Yep.
Right? Because you didn't hit the deadline, right? And your customers feel the same way. You have to, the deadline is the deadline. You've got to be able to hit it, right? So what are you willing to do? And right now, I would say to customers, hey, there's issues in the industry, right? We're not getting shirts on time because UPS and FedEx. Sometimes our distributors aren't shipping. We want it to ship on Monday. It doesn't ship on Tuesday, right? And especially with a truncated time frame that we're all under right now, there's lots of pressure to get things out sooner, right? This can cause issues. So just make sure you're upfront with your customers about some of our industry challenges that we're facing right now. Yep. I feel that these are temporary challenges. Eventually things will sort back, and who knows when, but I think we'll get back to, we can guarantee dates on things when they ship, so we can get what we need in when we need them. But right now things are kind of weird. So let's have that upfront discussion when the orders are placed, not on the day you're supposed to deliver it and you go, we didn't do it because we didn't get the shirts on Tuesday, right? And then your customer will say, you're telling me this now? The event is Saturday.
Exactly.
You can't have that, right?
Yeah. And when you schedule and plan and deliver on time, 99.9% of the time, that makes that other 0.1% when you do have something happen that is not of your own volition, that makes it a lot more palatable for a client.
Yes, and you have to communicate quickly.
Yeah,
hey, here's the problem. Right, and then have the plan, know what you're doing.
And have a solution.
Have a solution, right?
Yeah.
Hey, so we got some comments. Let's get that going. Jordan says, good morning. So Easy Ways watching.
Yeah, always.
Charles says, good morning, fellas. Hey, Charles. How you doing?
How you doing, Charles?
Our friend Richard says, greetings from Wyandotte. I've been watching this show from 4 weeks ago for 15 minutes. I now see the live red logo. I know Dan mentioned Joshua's I Am Midland program last week, but Tuesdays, the shirts went out and he described the program on the Mastermind Facebook group.
Yeah, he's talking about Josiah up in Midland, Michigan, and when Dan Dan Solomon, we were talking last week on that and what people were doing. Josiah posted on his Facebook page of all the shirts being sent out, and it was like 3 truckloads. It looked like of mail trucks there loading.
Right.
Them. So it was
great
deal.
I saw that. It was great.
Yeah.
And Yoster from Sweden says it always goes dark in the summer. It never goes dark in the summer.
Yeah. So it stays light. So he is way farther north than us.
Right. And then he also says he always overanalyzes things and makes it too complex. Having some keyboard issues there. It's probably because it's dark. And then Keith says, our UPS driver told us they have Christmas time freight with no extra help. So shipments that have been 1 day normally have been 2 or 3 days. It's getting better, but we have made that adjustment in our scheduling. So that's really good, Keith. Thank you for commenting that. By the way, if you're another shop, what is your experience right now? Leave a comment. We'd love to know.
For everybody listening, right there in that comment from Keith, the best part is we have made the adjustments in our scheduling.
Right.
So things happen. What adjustments? How are you guys making it? So
right. And then Jesse with Matsui says, good morning.
Boy, we got the heavy hitters with Richard and Jesse there. I'm honored.
Yeah, right. It's great. Right. So Ready for question 2?
Let's go.
Are we done with scheduling? What do you think? Anything else we got to talk about?
I don't know. I mean, I'd love to hear what some people do on what they're doing correctly, what they like. And, Marshall, you talked, and I've heard you say it in seminars before. I love what you do the night before, and you're setting everything up, and you call them kits.
Kit packing.
Kit packing.
Yep.
And, that's incredible. I've seen shops where they have multiple autos, and they have teams where one's a print team, one's a setup team, one's a tear down, and they just keep going from press to press. And, almost that follow the leader type process. So as long as you have that process, stick to it and keep going, but be ready.
It's the process that's important. You don't have to follow what I do. You got something that works for you, do it. It's the consistency that matters. It isn't necessarily how you do it. If you've got success with something, man, it's fantastic. Do it that way, right? It's the consistency that really matters, where your process is we're doing it the same way every single time, right? And then if you have your process, how your continuous improvement program comes into play is you can go, hey, we got 10 steps here. How do we take a step out?
Yep.
How do we remove a step from this process? How do we gain an extra minute? Right? Because guess what? Those minutes are cumulative. They'll add up. And at the end of the year, I mean, that could be another 100 jobs out the door or something.
Absolutely. During Shirt Lab Summit, I was watching the video of our good friend, Greg Atkinson. And Greg, that's his whole career. He laughs at it. Mind's Eye Graphics. We're more of a logistics company is what he says. And by the way, we print, 30% of the time. And he was talking about having an SOP for everything. As your garments arrive, how are they checked in? There is an SOP and on how they lay them away.
Right.
And you got to have that plan. You got to have it written out, make it plain so those that read it can run with it.
Yeah, I've been to his shop and he is handmade these. Have you been there?
Oh yeah, multiple.
And he's got those handmade tables, those carts, right? They're huge. And how many does he have? 50 of them? I don't even know. Like a giant pile of them, and every single order gets its own cart.
Yep.
Right. And so they stage and roll these around, and they line them up, and just like I'm talking about, line them up in the order they need to go. Right. And then the operator's just setting up, printing, taking down, setting up, printing, taking down. It's just rinse and repeat all day long, and they don't have to look for anything.
Yep.
Right. And so a lot of shops I go to that don't have a system, there are people walking around. I call it the zombie walk, where they're walking around. They're looking for the underbase screen. They're looking for the mediums. They got a question on the art, right?
Yeah.
And this is why their setup time is an hour for a 2-color job. It's just ridiculous.
And we used to call it drifting. You're like driftwood. You're just drifting around.
Yeah, I call it the zombie walk because you're not walking with purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Because they're getting paid by the hour. It's their sweet time.
Yeah.
Right. I'm overemphasizing that. I know everybody works hard. I don't want to cast aspersions. So let's get so if you've got a scheduling issue or something that's going on in your shop that you like, we can come back to this. Post it in the comments. We'd love to dissect what's going on and help you. So
I think in the zombie walk too, a lot of times in presses, I see some of the better shops, they have not only kit packing like you have for their soft goods and stuff as production starting, but every shop or every workstation has everything they need. They have a cart or a table there where they have, what do they need? They have tape. They have a chemical. They have a press wash. They have everything they can need right there. Yeah. They're not out looking, going, who has the tape gun? Who has squeegees? It's all right there.
I'm going to make Richard Greaves' day and mention his favorite book, 2-Second Lean.
2-Second Lean. Right? Richard gets commission every time we mention 2-Second Lean, I think.
Yeah, so if you haven't heard of that book, it's like, I bet you can read that book in 30 minutes, an hour? I don't even know. It's but it'll really help you if you start adopting those practices in that book. So next topic, the importance of referrals.
Yeah.
Right. Referrals are such a key thing. And especially right now, one of the things that everybody's struggling with, I think, is getting back open and getting sales in the door. And we're going to talk about this in a little bit. But you know what? You have customers. You've been in business for a while, right? You've got customers. How many people right now are actively talking with their existing customer base to not only get business from them, but maybe, hey, can I get a referral? Who is just like you that might do business with us, that we can help them, right? Getting that referral and trying to do that. And I don't think it's done enough. What do you think, Alan?
Yeah. Even me, I wish I used referrals enough. I know our friend Jesse Martinez is watching. You know, if he calls me and says, hey, Alan, this shop, can you give them a call? They're having a reclaiming issue. Man, that's a big referral coming from someone there, and I'm on it. I know for Waterbase, I've called them on, hey, who's someone that contracts Waterbase? And when you have a referral coming from someone that has a great relationship, it's big. I was just talking to one of our sales guys just before the show, and we were talking about that. We don't utilize the people in our circle of influence enough. I think. And it's not like you're just trying to suck the life out of them. You want to be reciprocal on that.
Oh, yeah.
And we just don't do it enough. I'd love to know how, you know, as many people in today's world here recently, you know, I said before, the one term, if I never hear again after 2020, is the word pivot. But because they had to pivot, you know, markets, and this came up at a client I was talking to, because they've had to pivot markets, they've realized their circle of influence and their circle that they normally do is this one market that they specialize at. Well, now they'd have to go into another market, and they're trying to set up and figure out how can we work our referrals in that new market. So I'd love to hear, as you're moving in a different market, how do you get referrals from there? How do you do that? You know, is there a process? I'd love to hear what everybody else is doing.
Yeah, and here's the reason why a lot of people don't get referrals. It's because of one word. You know what the word is?
They don't ask.
Nope. The one word is fear.
Fear, yeah.
Fear, right? So the reason why I'm not giving you a referral is because I'm afraid you're going to screw it up, and then I'm going to look bad. So here's the thing. The only way that you're going to get referrals is to become referable, which means you're consistently awesome.
Yep.
Right. And if you're consistently awesome, everybody will refer. There's no problem with giving that referral. Right. But if you start missing things and your quality's off, and it's just you're hard to work with, or you know, you're a pain in the butt, you're not going to get that referral no matter how much you ask, because people like, I'm not referring that guy or girl, right? I'm not doing that. So the only way you're going to get referrals is to be referable, right? So this is your thinking when you're building out your process, is everything we do has to be consistently awesome, so I can get that referral when I ask.
Absolutely.
Right. And so this is why we need to be talking with our staff. As a business owner, you know, we're thinking about this all the time, but your employees might not be. Right. And I've been to tons of shops, and you have too, Alan, where it's defend the castle mode. Yeah. Right. And the production blames the screen room, and the screen room blames the art department, and the art department blames customer service, and there's all those karate infighting.
Yeah.
Right. And it's because of that we're not consistently awesome. And so for a customer, you know, they don't know that, you know, the art was delayed because the artist was sick and the screen room guy didn't stay late to burn the screen. And that's the reason why screen printing didn't get the job up and running. And all they know is it's Friday and I don't have my shirts.
And I need them for in the morning.
Yeah. And so they're not blaming, well, it's the art department. You know, we would have gotten our shirts, but the art department failed. That's not what they're saying. What they're saying is XYZ printing let us down. We're never using them again.
And how the customer feels as a person, they're not going, the people I had let me down. What you've done is you've now put them in a position where they're going to look stupid.
Yeah, right.
And I don't like to look stupid. And
So
neither do our customers. So.
yeah, so if you want more referrals, right, everybody in your company has to understand what's going on and their role that they play.
Yep.
Right. And so if you're just a single person shop, yeah, that's all you, man. Right. But if you've got, employees, everybody has to know where they fit into the process. Right. And I would be talking about this all the time about referrals, about how we have to band together, that it's one order, it's a company order, not just your small slice of the pie.
Yeah.
So
I think if there's kingdom building, like you said, everybody's defending the castle. I call it kingdom building.
Yeah.
Where you have people in your company going, no, that guy's been here 20 years. That's his own it's almost like his own little kingdom. And he defends that with a moat around there and doesn't share enough. He shares a little bit, but doesn't train and all that. That's kingdom building. And that does not work. You got to have a company on the same page. Everybody is cross-trained. Start doing that as much. And when you have kingdom building, it doesn't work in your own home personally. It does not work in businesses. So
yeah, but the phrase teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, I'm laughing because Jordan from Easy Ways listening, and we have one of our very upper managers, and I'm not going to say who because she might be listening. But every time she has an email, she has that underneath as her signature.
Oh, really?
So that's why I was laughing. But yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it's true.
It's a pretty famous phrase. I don't know who coined it.
I don't know. Richard Reese coined it.
Yeah, we have some comments. Let's get to them real quick. So Ron Goodwin's in the house. Paul Akers rocks. Richard says money.
Because he is on commission for we mentioned.
Yeah, as does Ron, right? Yeah. Cindy wants to know, can I watch this live on YouTube? Hey, here's an interesting thing, Cindy. Hopefully I've set it up right and it's being broadcast live on YouTube. But guess what we're doing? We're on this show recording it and we don't know. so somebody go to YouTube, my Atkinson Consulting YouTube page, and check it out and just see, is it live on YouTube? I've set it up for that. Is it really working? That's another story. Yeah. And just so everybody knows, Alan knows this, I have hired someone, it's my 16-year-old son, Jack, to be my YouTube master, okay? And because he tells me my YouTube page sucks. So he is helping me. He's written a report complete with graphics about what dad should do for his YouTube page. And so you should see some new YouTube stuff that looks better for me. And we've already made some changes. But anyway, so I don't know if YouTube is live right now. It'd be great to find out. So
Cindy's question, can I watch this live on YouTube? I don't know, Cindy, can you? Let us know.
Yeah.
We'd love to know.
Jesse says, very true, great way to help. Keith says, never be afraid to ask for them, I guess, for referrals, especially from your good customers. If they love you, they will share leads with you, right?
Absolutely.
And by the way, I got a Google review from one of my coaching clients today. Because why? Because I asked for it. And I should do this more, right? And so you got to get that opportunity, right? He sent me an email with a thank you for something that we were working on. And I go, hey, leave a comment on my Google review with 5 stars. And he went ahead and did it. I gave him the link. I made it easy. Jesse says, good point. Eric in the house. The blame game never works. We have to be a monolith to the outside. Accept responsibility to the customer. Deal with internal issues eternally.
Perfect.
Great.
Yeah.
Love it. What if you're born looking stupid? Overcome that with relationships. Well, that's my problem, Ron.
Help us out, Ron. Not everybody can have the looks and personality of a Ron.
Right. My problem is,
dare to dream.
Ron White, you can't fix stupid. Right?
Yeah.
I have a face for radio.
Yeah. Why we're not doing just a radio podcast, I never know.
I don't know. And Eric goes, hey, here's the link. Oh, my God. Eric says live now. Eric, I love you, brother. Thank you so much.
Eric Campbell, better known in my world as the Embroidery Whisperer. You know what? There's a guy right there that when I have a client with embroidery problems, who do I refer him to?
I send everything to Eric.
Absolutely. Water base that goes to Jesse. I mean,
right.
Those are my referrals right there. Why? Because I trust them.
Because they consistently deliver. That's why.
Absolutely.
They don't make you look bad.
Yep.
Cindy says, I cannot see it on YouTube. I jumped over to Facebook. It is easy for me to hear off the computer. I am sewing. Okay, well, there you go.
You're working.
So Cindy, try the YouTube link that Eric shared right above that comment. And Shane says, yep, not on YouTube Live. Okay, well, there you go. I guess I got some fixing to do. I'll get my son right on it, except he's still asleep because it's, he's 16.
But Eric says,
by the way, here's an interesting fact. He's my only employee, right? And according to him, he's won Employee of the Month 2 months in a row. And I have to take him out for lunch today to celebrate. So that's what's happening today for me. And, it's only 9:35 here. So if you're on the East Coast, he's not sleeping till noon, although he generally
does. What? We might have to have Jack on the show and explain what he wants to do, his vision for YouTube for.
We should do that. We could have a third person on here.
That would be awesome. He would be embarrassed. It would be great.
He easily is embarrassed. So, all right. So let's get to our.
You love that too. You love doing that. So
I love embarrassing him because that's what dads do, right? It's our job description. All right. So our next point is what is really happening. And no, I'm not talking about our YouTube problem, right? What are we talking about here, Alan?
What is really happening out there? What is happening out there in the market? So like for me, I see good things. I'm seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Right. I'm seeing clients, a bunch of clients are going, hey, I was at 50%. I'm now at 70%. I have some going up, but then I'm hearing other things. And the question is how we came up with this is this real? Is this just a little bump because things have started opening up? What is really happening out there? You and I can't really answer this. All right, everybody, what's happening?
I don't have a crystal ball, but I can tell you from talking with shops, right? So some, they're full tilt, bozo, going crazy. And other ones are partially open. They've got some orders. They brought back employees. I know there's other shops that they're fixing to have another round of layoff. Their PPP money ran out. They don't have the sales. They're fixing to make some really hard decisions and right. really tick some employees off, but that's where they got to be to survive. Yep. So, if you've got sales right now, I would love it if you would comment about what your situation is. What is your forecast for the rest of June and going into July? How do you see the situation right now? What are you doing? Right. And just because I think it's based on several factors. Geography plays a key role, right? How's your state? Are you opening up? What are you doing? What's going on? Just with what's up, right? And then also your the market that you serve, right? Are you a contract decorator? Are you retail? Do you do events? Do you whatever, right? What are you doing? How are you doing it? Who are you serving? If you do athletics mainly, right? Is Little League open or not? In some states it is. Other states it isn't.
Yep.
Right? So it's like there's just a lot of things that are happening right now. We kind of want to do an informal poll. We need you to comment. And I see we're getting some. So, please put your comments in the chat there or in the thing so we can see what's going on and we can basically talk about you.
So, exactly.
All right. So Eric shared some things, right? So where is it? There's too many comments. I can't keep up. Right. Oh, Eric says you have 2 channels. Time to clean house. I know. My son's on top of it. Thanks, Eric.
Obviously, he's not on top of it.
Well, he wrote me a report that says, Dad, you got 2 channels. You need to I'm okay. Well, guess what? You get to figure that out.
Yep.
He hasn't done the work yet. So thanks for saying.
So now you got to tell Jack. Now it's public out in the industry. Now
here's the new link. right? And Ron says Eric works with Alacrity. Is that how you pronounce that word? How do you say that?
I don't know. I have Detroit public school systems. I don't know. Is that a word? Did you make that up?
Yeah, no, it's a real word. Love the word and appreciate the sentiment, sir. Eric knows how to pronounce it.
Eric text me and let me know what that means so I don't look stupid. Wait, I just did. So
Yosta says we expand, but all of our new markets, new tools.
Okay.
Cindy says, thanks, Eric.
Oh, look did you see she was making the little hand heart thing?
That's awesome.
Picture, that's awesome.
That's great. Thank you, Cindy. Jesse says, I'm seeing lots of water-based sampling and printing on mass. Transfers were also popular, right? So that's what's going on. So people are taking the situation and they're trying to figure it out, right? They're offering new products. They're trying to get some things done. Yep. That's very interesting. So, here's another thing is what's really happening? What's really happening with masks, right? I think is that going to stick? I'm very interested in that because I think I wear a mask when I go out, and I know you do also, Alan, right? But guess what? I don't see everybody doing it where I live. I know in some states it's mandatory. You can't go into a building in Virginia or Maryland without a mask. Here in where I live in Mesa, Arizona, only about, 30% of people wear masks. It's not mandatory when you go into the store, right? And here's the crazy thing. I live in Maricopa County in the state of Arizona. My wife and I were looking at these stats because Jack wants to go over to a friend's house for a sleepover, and we're telling him no because the whole state of Arizona, there's about, 26,000 people with corona. 16,000 of them are in this county. There's 1,000 deaths in our state. 519 of them are in this county, right? That's half of the people. I don't know if that's a huge number to you, but to me, this is all what's going on here. I think we're in a wait and see mode to maybe July before we start doing things. I don't know. That's just how I see it. But masks, are people wearing them here? Not really. Right? What do you think?
I was talking with a client this week about this, and they've done masks, and they have done gaiters. And we were talking about, the neck gaiters and head gaiters, that these are not a new product. I think I said last week. I've had these. I had a pack of 3 of them still brand new, and I just brought them out during it.
Yeah.
And these are used in the fishing industry. There's an SP value to them. They keep sun off you when you have them. So now they're becoming more popular. And the one client was saying, he goes, I'm selling more gaiters than I am masks. And the gaiters are actually becoming a product, he thinks. And we were talking not just to outdoors, but then to landscape, to different things on there. It's just another product that I think has now been brought to the forefront of everybody's mind. So,
and those are usually sublimated, dye sub.
A lot of them are sublimated, yes.
So, just something to look into. Ron says, tell us what is good. Sell more on Zoom. 99% close rate.
Yeah.
Zoom video. Exactly, Ron. Do you like using Zoom? I've been experimenting with Google Meets and I have a Zoom. I do Zoom all the time. Just I'm messing around.
At our company, we use a lot of Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
For meetings and stuff. So
Cindy says it's live. Thank you, Eric. Ron says, alacrity, someone with alacrity shows cheerful willingness and eager behavior, like a kid whose mother has told him he can buy anything in the candy store.
I love it.
Thanks, Ron. Keith says Little League All-Stars usually from mid-June to first week of July. Not there this year, so working how to make up the 60K. But youth football is happening, and we're gearing up for that. Some schools are ordering a little early for this, working on some promotions we would run later in the year to see if it will work now. So get your ducks in a row now. And I've championed, and you've heard me say this a million times, as a business owner, your brain needs to be 6 to 8 weeks out. all the time, constantly. So right now we're in June, so you should be July, August, right? So what is that? That's back to school. What are you doing right now, right? What are you doing for, Labor Day, right? It's around the corner, right? Your 4th of July stuff should have been done two months ago.
Absolutely.
Right. And so if you're looking for 4th of July sales, you've already missed it.
Back to school stuff is going to be huge this year with everything that's been canceled and not done. You don't think every school, every teacher is going to want to just be greeting these kids with everything. And yeah.
So, but some school districts might not be live. They might be online still. Depends on where you live. I'm hearing that. Right. So what are they doing? What merch stores, what online stores, how are they keeping unity for the school? Apparel is one way that people do that. So
I think apparel and promo, they're still going to want to make these kids feel like they are part of a school, still part of a team, still part of a school. When you're a kid, that's community.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So Cindy says, Eric Campbell has me testing patches. I posted my test on Facebook. Now everyone wants patches. Exactly, Cindy. Exactly. Show off what you're doing. Yep. I don't have them cost efficient yet. I will not get into the mask issue. Okay, good. With the frowny face. Right? So here's the thing is you take something, figure out how to do it, right? And then send it to everybody, right? And a really good way of doing that is do a video personalized to your customer, right? So you could do a, hey, Cindy, or hey, Cheryl, I wanted to show you the new patches that we're doing on hats. Let me show you what I'm doing. Here's the thing. I can create this just for you. Click the link right here on this button and schedule a time with me, and we can talk about how I can personalize this for your company.
Yep.
Right. And I use an app called Soapbox for that. Soapbox is fantastic.
I've started using it also.
Somewhere between 6 and 8 to up to maybe 24 videos a day. Right. They're easy to do once you get used to doing them. Mm-hmm. It's really super awkward when you start. And I got Alan hooked on that, by the way.
Yep. I've started using it, and I need to upgrade what they have. And I just made a little note. First thing to do when I'm done is upgrade it.
It's super easy to do. Yep. Just make a list. I make my list the day before, okay, of who I'm going to do the videos for. And in the morning, I just sit down and I got my list. I know what I'm doing. It's bam, 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 and I'm done.
One of the first people I sent the first video to was a client that I actually have just talked about how we came up with one of the subjects. I've known him and, I had a good relationship. I sent him an email with the video, and he replied back instantly. He goes, okay, that was cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
I love what you're talking about. Let's set up a time when we open up, and we have, and it's went that way. So it worked very well.
Right. All right. So
and there's other ones. I know Dave Harding from DCA uses Loom.
Yeah, Loom is good. There's a ton of them. That's the tool I use.
Yeah, I tried them both. I like Soapbox better, but yeah.
Sam says, late again. Sorry, fellas. That's okay, Sam. You're here.
Lansing, Michigan. Sam, way to go. I cannot wait to get back out on the road and working with people.
Sorry, I was over talking.
My bad. Yeah.
What were you saying?
I said I can't. Just seeing Sam. Sam's one of my dealers. I cannot wait to get back out on the road and working with people. Our industry is so great. I love talking to everybody. I miss seeing everybody.
All right. So somebody that I have a relationship with, industry colleague, actually Danny Rosen, who's a former president of Promo Kitchen. He runs a company called Brand Fuel.
Oh yeah.
And he posted online the other day. His last real handshake was on March the 13th, and he misses just shaking somebody's hand, right? And it got me thinking, when was the last time I shook somebody's hand? It was sometime back in March, right? Yeah. When's the last time you hugged somebody other than, your my wife, right? Whatever, or high-fived or whatever. It's like just that personal contact with people. Man, I so miss that.
Yep.
All right. We have 10 minutes left. One more topic.
Let's go. Yep.
Or was that our fourth one? Scheduling, referrals, new opportunities. Opening
that's
up.
really happening. Yeah. We
skipped over it. What new opportunities are opening up was our last topic.
Yep. And we hit on it a little bit. I thought the Gator one is an opportunity. I think that will keep going and be a real product.
Right.
So
for you guys watching, what new opportunities do you think are opening up? Right. So it's the summer, right? Is there what's going on? Or service industries are hiring, right? There's a lot of new things that could be happening. And so what are you doing right now? Right. And here's the challenge that I think a lot of people are thinking is they're just locked into what we've always done before.
Yep.
They've always thought of them as our customers are schools, our customers are events, right? And they're afraid to go after, I don't know, restaurants or somebody, right?
Yeah.
So what opportunities are just in front of you in your network, right? You've got to change the way you look at your business and who your customers are, right? And what the value you bring. And by the way, earlier this morning, I finished my blog article for tomorrow. I hope everybody reads it. Okay. And here's the title. And I know as soon as I say it, Alan, you're going to go, oh yeah, I know exactly what he wrote without even reading it. It's called Stop Selling Ink on Cotton.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
Stop selling ink on cotton. Gee, what do you think that article's about? Right. So, if you're an embroiderer, it could be stop selling thread on cotton. It's the same thing, right? Or polyester. It doesn't matter. The idea here is that you should be a problem solver, not just quoting people based on quantity and number of colors.
Well, I always say, and sometimes, when direct-to-garment first came out, there was this argument, I'm a screen printer, I'm a garment decorator, I'm a DTG, I'm an embroiderer. No, you're all of that. You are not just a screen printer. You are a garment decorator.
Yeah.
And you better have access to most all of it. Because I look and I'm going, I don't know why people don't have someone they can farm out sublimation to, or direct-to-garment or embroidery. You don't have to do it all anymore. I was listening to your video with Sean Kirkpatrick down in Texas on the hybrid, and he was talking about the same thing.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Promo is becoming, you just got to have it. Don't say no. Be the problem solver. What's their problem? Have the solution.
Exactly.
Let's go.
Figure it out. Be a problem solver. So that's just all about, there's a lot of articles written about delivering on value. You sell on value, right? And I think we both agree on this. The people that post on Facebook with the price check 300 Gildan on 2-color front, 1-color back, where are you at? Right? Yeah. That instantly tells me you don't know how to run your business.
Absolutely. And it does. And we just talked about something that we talk off air a lot at night going, oh my Lord, how are these people in business? It's been going on for years. On the technical side, I go nuts when people are asking, going, what's the best white out there? Really? That tells me you do not know how to print. You have no idea what your variables are, and you're not controlling any of it.
Right.
Which is why for Tribe, we talked about, I'm going to do printing better whites. Again, this is not a new seminar for me, but every time I do it, it gets response because it's one of the hardest things. It's one of the people have trouble printing, and it's what people print the most of.
It's a basic thing.
It is, and it shouldn't be difficult. So
if we were a chef, right? If we're in the food industry, printing a better white is equivalent to how do you chop up vegetables?
Exactly. How do you fry an egg? It's like not hard.
It's just a basic thing that you should be able to do. And here's the thing: it isn't about the ink; it's about your process. Right? Spoiler alert! Right?
When I started that seminar, it was called "Printing Better Whites," And sarcastic Alan always put underneath a little subtitle, "It's probably not your ink."
Right.
And one person asked me, goes, "Are you referring it's me?" Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, right. It is you.
Yeah, it's not me. You know. So yeah, and some people that have are listening have been in there. I know I've actually had Mr. Richard Greaves slip in the back, which usually makes me stutter a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, on some of my seminars, he's been there.
I like it when we have guests in the audience. Like you've been in my classes before.
I've been in yours,
and I have fun with it. I call you out. Oh, there's Alan back there.
Yeah. It's a little more difficult, you know. I think I shared, you know, when I did Max Profit at Inksoft, you know, one, I was honored. I'm sharing stage with you and Mark Coudray and Tom Rowan. But then sitting in the audience is Scott Fresner and Richard Greaves and Craig Kitson and Lon Winters. And I'm going, why am I up here?
Right.
So
you know, I bet you they learned something. Because whenever I hear people talk, even things that I already know, I'm like, oh yeah, why don't I do that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I skipped step 3 again.
Yeah.
And
what I find on printing better whites, it's, to quote Greg Kitson, sometimes people just don't know what they don't know. And then it's going, I never thought that could affect this.
That is Greg's favorite quote.
It is. It's awesome.
All right, so we got some comments, and we're almost out of time, so let's get to them. Cindy says, I'm in Odessa, still hugging a handshake. How about that?
I'm going to Texas.
You know, I love Texas. I love going to Texas. By the way, go Cowboys. I'm a Cowboys fan. Brian says, mask and hand sanitizer. That's what he's working on. That's great.
Brian works for
I know Richard is working with a shop that's an apparel decorator that's completely gone all in on hand sanitizer. You know,
Richard had to source the fillers to fill the bottles. So he had, right there. Talk about someone that had to go, okay, I don't know if Richard's had to do that before, but he's hired to do something. Let me figure out how to do it. There's a new market. Let's go. Right. Don't be afraid. So, and he was asking everybody referrals. That's how we know about it. So,
right. Yeah. Eric says, be a consultant, not a commodity.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Richard says, I love you.
Richard, Wyandotte, Michigan, and Richard's in Wyandotte, he said earlier, which is in Michigan. And just so those of you don't know, I have known Richard since I was 19 years old. He's always been a big wheel in this industry since I've been in. And the fact that he's my friend is still amazing to me. So,
yeah, right. Yeah. That amazes me because I know you.
And I don't have that many friends. So, yeah.
Right. So
I have Richard and Marshall, and that's it.
Right. So Cindy says, I may disagree. If you aren't in a trade shows, you have good sales reps, you may not be up to speed on the ink changes. Lots of advancements since Tiger White.
You know what, Cindy, I would agree. But here's the other thing. When you have problems printing white, the question is, why does every ink manufacturer have 87 whites? Well, they all perform something different. But if you don't have your fundamentals down of tension, proper coating, proper squeegee pressure, even proper curing, proper use of your flood bar and squeegee, I don't care what white you have, you're still going to have issues. You know, why am I having haloed image? Why am I having to double and triple hit it? And usually those are not an ink problem.
Yeah. So, off contact, squeegee angle, squeegee speed. Did you sharpen your squeegee? Yep. What durometer is it? All that factors into the white.
Yep. And the way the process works, I always say that screen printing is not decorating. It is in the form that it's embellishing, but it is a process. It is a manufacturing process. It starts with one, good artwork. Bad artwork, you're going to have a bad print. I don't care what happens. But in the manufacturing process, it starts with tension and everything, screen tension, and everything builds upon there. If you don't have it down, you're adding Band-Aids, and it just causes problems. And you're making the ink not work well. So, so Cindy, you're not disagreeing with me. I'm not disagreeing with you either. You're right, but I think there's a lot more to it instead of finding the right ink.
Right.
And there's been a lot of advancements since Tiger White, Bright Tiger. Correct.
So Yosta says, Marshall, your book is real good, which is moving past disaster. So thank you. He bought that, I don't know, last week sometime. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Go Cowboys. Woohoo.
Look who else. Lon Winters.
Lon says, good stuff, gents. Off to Kudre's R3. So that's great.
We never know who's lurking back there. So Lon is good.
I know.
Yeah.
It's all true, too. We've been screen printing for 29 years. Congratulations. The weather can change the whole job. Exactly.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly.
29. I'm at 33 and realize I know less now than I did back then, I think. So,
well, here's the thing: is a lot of the fundamentals are the same, but I think as time goes on, what equipment changes, the consumables change, the fabrics change. There's lots of changes, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're still printing the same way you did 20 years ago, right? Maybe that's not quite working as well.
What was the #1 shirt 29 years ago? Screen Star's Best? Really? You look back, that was a great.
Was it? I don't know. BPT.
Beefy tees were around on there. I think the cheap one, I remember Screen Star's Best were the cheap ones. And yeah, polyester was a football jersey.
Yeah, right.
And that was it. So, yeah.
Well, I think that's going to do it for us. So,
good time.
Yeah, so thanks so much for watching. We appreciate you. Have a fantastic weekend. I am going to be hanging out in the pool, I think. I need some pool time.
Yep.
So,
to be in Arizona.
Keith says, Oneida shirts.
Oneida shirts. A discus. Who remembers them? So, yeah.
Oh, and just one last comment. We get similar issues in embroidery. What software makes the best designs? The digitizer makes designs. The tools can be easier or faster, but the chisel doesn't sculpt.
Oh, perfect. Right.
Oh, my God, Eric. That is the best quote ever. The chisel doesn't sculpt.
Absolutely. So,
where'd that come from?
Eric Campbell.
Left field. Eric Campbell. That's the best quote ever.
Yep. And it goes back to the same thing. It doesn't matter what process you're doing. If you don't have your basic SOPs, your basic fundamentals, you're going to struggle. And usually that struggling sound you hear is money being flown out the window. So,
yeah, right. All right. Thanks so much. We got 2 more quotes. That's great. It's great to go to your trade shows when possible.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And Ron says, thank you, you kids, Eric, for the win.
Eric for the win always.
Eric for the win.
Yep.
All right. We're out. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
Have a fantastic weekend, you guys. And we'll talk to you next Friday.
We'll be here. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.